a congressional candidate for California's 25th district, Cenk Uygur. Cenk, welcome back on the show.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the recent revelations when it comes to the Democratic Party, because even though you're running as a Democrat in California's 25th district, the most aggressive opponent happens to be a Democrat who's backed by the Democratic establishment. And just today, there was news that the DCCC is planning this red to blue program where they are going to actively endorse Christy Smith over you in this district, even though she is not an incumbent. The whole point of this program was to protect incumbent Democrats. In this case, she's not an incumbent. However, she has been handpicked, as she says, by the establishment to serve in this role. She doesn't think she has to run an election, or a campaign. So I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on it. First, let me give the audience a few details about what this program is. The DCCC is also throwing support behind California State Assemblywoman Christy Smith, a candidate in the special election to replace former Democratic Representative Katie Hill in the state's 25th district. The decision to place Smith in the program is notable because it could foreshadow a future financial investment ahead of the March 3rd all-party primary. Smith will be battling liberal commentator Cenk Uygur, founder of the Young Turks, for Democratic votes. Both raised large six-figure sums last quarter, but national Democrats are hesitant about Uygur.
Okay. So let's go over the DCCC's idea of red to blue. They say, well, look, we got to either protect the seats or we're going to gain new seats, and we're going to flip them from red to blue.
Right.
Okay, problem number one, this seat is already blue. So it shouldn't be in red to blue at all. Okay, problem number two is if the seat is red to blue, it should be the seat, not the particular person in the race, unless they're an incumbent. Now, I don't agree with that philosophy, but that is their stated goal, and they've said it very clearly. Except in this case, she's not an incumbent. So you have someone that is not in a red district, not an incumbent, and in a primary. So when the DCCC says we're going to advantage one candidate over another in this primary, what they are declaring proudly is we believe in more conservative Democrats, and we will spend money to defeat progressives, and we don't give a damn if it's a primary, we don't care if it's an incumbent, we don't care if it's red, we don't care if it's blue. Our job is to defeat progressives.
Right.
So be clear about it, DCCC, stop lying and pretending it's about incumbency, it isn't. And is Christy Smith really more conservative? Courage California gets together 100 progressive groups to judge the votes, not the rhetoric, not anything else, the votes of assembly members. She's in the assembly. You know what rating she got? Not a B, not a C, not a D. She got an F rating. So DCCC says, oh, you're an F Democrat? Oh, we love F Democrats. And Christy Smith endorsed Susan Christopher, a Republican, for her own assembly seat. And then Susan Christopher, it was embarrassing that when media found out that it was a Republican they were trying to sneak into a Democratic seat, withdrew from the race. But not only did Christy Smith endorse her, she maxed out to her, gave her $9,400. So they're trying to almost flip the seat from blue to red.
Right, well, flipping the seat or basically granting that seat to Christy Smith would maintain the power structure that the DCCC absolutely loves. And you say that she's a conservative Democrat, and I think that her past votes do bear that out, and I want to get into that in just a second. But let me also say, I waited quite a while to get any information about what she stands for, because apparently Christy Smith doesn't even think she needs to campaign. I haven't seen her do a debate. She famously dodged a debate with you and the other individuals running for this seat. And she also refuses to answer any questions about what she would fight for, what her priorities are. But if you look at her record in the California State Assembly, it's pretty abysmal, especially in a state that's grappling with overwhelming homelessness. So let's talk a little bit about what her record indicates. She voted no on AB 329, which prohibited landlords from rejecting applicants based on Section 8 status. So she's allowing for this type of landlord discrimination to take place in California. She voted no on AB 1482, which capped rent increases at 5% in 12-month periods. Okay, 5% is quite a bit, especially when you consider how much rental properties cost here in California. It also would have forced landlords to present just cause before evicting. Gee, I wonder why she's against all of these protections for renters. She also voted no on AB 749, which prohibits no rehire provisions that bar victims from mistreatment from employees with the offending company. She voted no on SB 218, which establishes penalties for claims that arise under Fair Housing and Employment Act. And also on May 31st, 2019, Christy Smith received, oh, look at that, $7,300 from the California Real Estate Political Action Committee, California Association of Realtors, who were against Assembly Bill 1482. That was the Tenant Protection Act of 2019. So she certainly does take campaign contributions that you have rejected. You are funded by small dollar donors, and that's probably the reason why you would vote a little differently when it comes to some of these bills.
Right. So first of all, it's really important to understand the DCCC, when they endorse someone, give them a lot of money. So our only hope is you guys. So if we have to try to match it, we won't be able to match the amount of money that they'll put in the race. But cenk2020.com/go, we're trying to get 1,000 contributors. That doesn't mean that you have to give a lot, but at least it's symbolic to say we're angry about this, that the DCCC has abandoned, not just abandoned progressives, but actively fought against progressives, funded conservative Democrats against progressives for no reason, violating their own policies. So cenk2020.com/go. Now, on the issue of affordable housing, Anna, so she votes against 4 measures that would give you affordable housing. The rent caps is the worst one. Right. It's actually 5% plus inflation. In LA, that means they could increase your rent 8.3% every single year.
Right.
And it actually does not apply to a lot of the buildings already in LA or new buildings that are coming out. So the calculus on that is in California, it only applies to about 7% of rentals. So it's a compromise on top of a compromise. And Christy Smith said, no, not even 7% can have a rent cap. Not even at 8.3%, which is already a giant increase. No, right? And she says, it's Section 8 housing. Oh, no, we don't want the riffraff around here. I vote no. She votes with the Republicans over and over and over again. And then she says, you said $7,300 from that particular pack. Overall, from real estate interests, she has $30,000 in campaign contributions. And she says, no, golly gee, that doesn't affect my vote at all. I keep voting against affordable housing. Homelessness is the #1 problem in this district. And by the way, is the media holding her accountable on any of these votes?
Of course not.
None of them.
But why would they? Why would they when they can find out of context video clips of you online and use that against you? Which, by the way, has absolutely no impact on the constituents. It doesn't in any way inform them on the issues, but does a decent job in trying to smear you. I wanna actually talk a little bit about some of the dirty political tricks that have been happening recently, because I know that I've experienced them firsthand. But I wanna first share a tweet that I thought was a little funny. This was from Christy Smith's Twitter campaign. Now, she won't debate you on the issues, but she'll throw some jabs on social media like the coward that she is. She tweeted, fighting for change isn't about competing for YouTube clicks with makeup tutorials and cat videos. This is what real leadership looks like. So she's arguing that what we do here at TYT is nothing more than makeup tutorials and cat videos, which actually sounds like a lot of fun. I wish we did do some of that stuff. But this isn't where it stops. Some of these dirty political tricks have gone further. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's funny that she says that. So competing. What do you mean competing? You won't show up for a single debate.
Exactly.
She didn't show up to the League of Women Voters Forum in Simi Valley. She won't show up to anything. And instead of the media being mad, normally when they don't have access, the media gets furious, right? But they're like, well, the beloved anointed Christy Smith has been picked by great, I was about to say conservative leaders, like Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi. So we shall bow our heads and not ask her any policy positions, not hold her accountable for not showing up to debates, not doing any interviews, and conducting her campaign from a wine cave. But now they've gone an extra step, Anna. So, I did a podcast in Santa Clarita. I come out and there's this weird guy that seems to be taking pictures of me, but I totally ignored it because number one, he could be taking a selfie. So don't feel so self-important, right? Second of all, sometimes people take awkward pictures of me, then they should just come up, right?
Right.
And so it's just happened in my life, it's not a big deal. But then when I turn around and I see him, he dives into a store. I'm like, okay, that's a little extra weird, whatever. I'm getting into my car and I poke my head out. he came out of the store and was taking a picture of my car, and then he dives back into the store. I'm like, okay, that's super weird behavior, but no big deal at all, okay? I don't think twice about it. About a week later, my car's broken into. Okay, I'm in a rush to get to the studio. I don't think twice about that. And in fact, I was amused. I was gonna do it in the post game because I was like, they didn't take my CDs because they were Kelly Clarkson and Shaggy.
And also, no one listens to CDs anymore.
Okay, so. That's true. And they didn't take my raggedy jackets and shirts that I had hung up. And so, again, I don't think twice about it, but sometimes your car gets broken into. The next day, though, I noticed that the quarters are still there. Like, wait a minute, they didn't take anything. That's really weird. And then my wife calls me. She said, last night, this was the next day, my car was broken into. Like, babes, did they take anything? She looks around, she's like, no, they didn't take anything. They just rifled through the glove compartment.
Jeez.
So then I called all my neighbors and I said, hey guys, somebody's breaking into our cars, you should be careful, but did it happen to you? Didn't happen to a single neighbor, okay? So why do they go into your glove compartment? Maybe they want information on you. Maybe they're looking for a key to the house. Maybe they're just looking to intimidate you. Then they come by the office, Palmdale office that we have. They appear to be taking videos of not only the office itself, they come right up to the door, okay, to do that, but they start following our staffers around and taking videos of them. So it's the year 2020 and we still have this kind of thuggish behavior. But the establishment's like, bravo, let's give her more money. I don't know who's doing the break-in. I have no idea who did the break-in, but it is a curious coincidence. Now again, the media will say, oh, no way, we never believe any progressives, et cetera, et cetera. But guys, we gotta compete with these folks. And every dollar counts and every dollar is a voter. Cenk2020.com/go. We need you guys. With you guys, we can do anything. I actually think, given how terrible she is at campaigning, how she won't release a single policy issue, I actually think I'm the candidate. You know how much our volunteers have done? We've made over 120,000 calls in the district. We've already sent 220,000 texts. Wherever I go, people go, oh, your friends called me. You're my friends, okay? They say, oh, I got a text from you earlier in the day. People power is gonna work, but we also need money, especially with the DCCC now coming in with God knows how much money. Cenk2020.com/go.
All right, Cenk, looking forward to seeing what happens with this campaign and just be informed of what his opponents stand for, what he stands for, and help Cenk out if you believe in his progressive message. Thank you for watching, we'll see you soon.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.